Hello, so surprise, surprise, the comic is done. I know like vlog 1 was me talking about like how I was gonna make the comic, but then I took like so much footage of the entire process and I just don't know how to organize the clips, and I'm starting a new comic, so I might as well just approach that with more structure. But yeah, I'm just gonna film this vlog number 2. I just want there to be some kind of continuity in this comic series. This is my comic of the year for 2024. I made it January of 2025. Finished it at least because I didn't have time to finish it 2024, but I made the concept 2024, and it's basically just about the passage of time and how I'm dealing with it. I won't go much into the plot because I actually don't know if I'm like gonna post this anywhere, like the entire thing, but I'm just happy to have made it. That was my comic. I remember last video I was talking about how I was drafting like the storyboards and all the little things that go into it. And I did record videos of me talking about the line work and the colors and everything. Like even recorded myself explaining, but I feel like it's just too convoluted to organize right now, and I don't have enough time to because I'm starting a new comic. I think I'll start with that one, but yeah, this is what it looks like so far. I got it printed. They gave me like a black and white version to check before they did this colored one. I am not super happy with how it came out. I think the colors came out like a lot darker than I'm used to, and they have like this, it's like a printing error, but I think it's like it's good enough. One thing that I regret when I did this, that I only realized once I started formatting it, is it's kind of overwhelming that there's no like white borders in between. I was trying to differentiate each panel through contrast and color, which is, I think it works, but it's just like overwhelming. Maybe it will grow on me like in the future, but right now I mean, I'm happy it's done, but that's a creative decision that I will not be repeating for my next comic. And so these are the original artworks. This is the cover, and then these are the pages. And I don't know if these are in, I don't know, these are not in order, but yeah, these are just all the different pages. It's like surreal to like go through these like as it's done. I think in this vlog I just want to be able to talk about like my feelings regarding this. I really like making comics because I like being able to explore art in like a more like narrative focused way. I've always been inclined towards like storytelling illustrations, but I find it so difficult to like put the entire story in just one artwork. I think that's a talent that I have yet to learn and something I admire in like of other artists. But for me, I need like a bunch of pages to get my point across. And I can admire every page individually in this style of like no white borders, but I feel like if I put it like here, like this is this page, it's like it is something that can be improved. This is what it looks like. I think it looks pretty cool. Actually, I think looking at it now, the color reproduction is pretty like on point. I think I just need to add white borders next time. I've been making comics since like 2023, 2024-ish. This is my 2024, and then in 2018, I made like 2 comics. I'll go get them right now. These are the comics I made the past year. So this is the very first comic I made, Cosmos. I made it in 2018, and it was kind of crazy because I did this in like 2 days. But then I guess not really so crazy because when I look through it, it's like not so complex. And I was a student, so I had like no money, so I had this paper that I was like trying to save, and I was drawing on it like back to back. Yeah, these are the originals for Cosmos. I just think it's so cool that I have like this solid thing to look back on. I just think it's so cool to be able to draft something in your head and then like do all these little steps, and then in the end you have something like this. And it's just the wonder of having something in your head come to life every time that really gets me and really inspires me to keep doing this. And I don't sell my work. I don't even like show it to people. I feel like total of 8 people, less than 10 for sure, have seen the inside of this. Like it's more of a personal undertaking for me. Maybe someday I'll like make a compilation of like my comics and just post it online. But for now, it's just like this is between me and like the four people that have bought it in the comic fair I sold it in, and the three friends I gave it to. And it's my favorite quote: for small creatures such as we, the vastness is bearable only through love, by Carl Sagan. And the idea behind this was I was really into outer space at the time and like the vastness of everything and how small that makes me feel. And I just wanted to approach that in a way where like even if the universe is like so huge, we have all these moments and people around us that ground us into the world and make it less overwhelming. So the basic plot of this is there are these two astronauts and the girl cuts her hand when she's cutting these onions, and then she just gets infected and like she dies in the end. Well, she doesn't like die, like they reach Mars and then they look at the stars as she's like dying. Yeah, that's how I wanted to express my feeling of like vastness of the world and connections between people. I think that's like a recurring theme throughout all my work, because this is the next one. It's Skytree. I made this in the same year. I was still like on the high of finishing Cosmos, so I wanted to make a new comic right away, and this is like my longest comic to date. I think this is like 60 something pages, and it's not bound well. It's like so it's kind of hard to read, and the originals of that are like super thick. It's over here. These are all the originals, and oh, there's dust. This is like cheapest watercolor paper I could find. And yet I was still skimping on it. But yeah, it's just cool to look back on. Like I made this like years ago and it's still here and it's here and like there's a file somewhere. I don't know where I put the file, but like I scanned this. I printed it, so I scanned it. I just don't know where the file is. Somewhere in my hard drive. Yeah, it's just cool. It's just cool to see like the transformation of your thoughts to something physical that exists in the world for other people to read. The plot of this is, I think it's really just Cosmos on a longer scale but not a larger one, because Cosmos is like space, like outer space, and this is just like some imaginary world. There's like these children are stranded slash are living in this island, and basically this girl just finds like this huge tree in this, and she climbs it, and then she finds out that in the sky there are like more islands that they can explore, and it's just about finding ways to get to that island, but in the last moment. Yeah, I'm just like spoiling all my comics now, but I don't like post these. I'm not like secretive about it, or like, but I don't post it. It's just like, just listen to me. Listen to me talk about these things. But yeah, they go to the sky and then they tie these balloons to themselves so that they reach the islands. But then at the last moment, the balloon of the guy snaps, and the girl's like doesn't wanna traverse this strange new world alone, so she snaps her balloon too. And then they have a cat, and the cat also like snaps his balloon because doesn't want to be alone. And then they all just stay together in the end and try to find better ways to like reach the islands without their balloons snapping. And that's it. That's the ending. What's the quote for this is, the bright side of the planet moves towards darkness, and the cities are falling asleep, each in its hour, and for me, now as then, it is too much. There's too much world. And I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's by this guy. This was from, I was reading The Spaceman of Bohemia, which is still my favorite book. And this was a quote from The Spaceman of Bohemia. And it's still in line with Cosmos of like trying to figure out your place and amidst like the largeness of everything, and just like not getting overwhelmed in that. And it makes sense because I made these two in like the same year, so I was like really grappling with that at the age of like, how old was I? I was like 19. It's like grappling with this crisis at the age of 19, and I have so much affection for like 19-year-old me who made these. Like I know we have like idols and like we look up to people like outside of ourselves, but it's kind of a weird feeling also to like look at where you've been and admire like that past version of yourself. And a lot of the comics that I make now are just because of like this past me, and I think that's pretty sweet. My next comic is this one, and it's called Sprout. I made this 2023, like 5 years after I made my other two comics because I got too occupied with college. But the reason why I finally made this was because this was the year I got injured. I got into a motorcycle accident and I couldn't walk for like 2 months. So I used that time to make this. And I think that's another thing that I like about making art is it is transformative. Like in your experiences, you can turn them into something more special and turn that experience into something that can not only help you relate to what happened to you, like intrinsically, but also like reach people in different ways. There's only like 2 copies of this that exist in the world. Like my friend printed one and she read it and she had like kind of like a different interpretation. I thought that was cool how we can interpret things in different ways. This is the inside. Inside. I think this is the comic that I like the most, like with the art that I made. This is where it's at. Like I should have added borders to this one. This is so hard. Like it's something I regret, but it's something that was worth trying, I guess. These are borders. For this one, it's basically just this journey. It's like quite literal. This is like my most literal comic because it's just about this guy this robot, because it's my original character who is a robot. He falls down this trail and then he gets injured and he has to quite literally go inside himself. And I was like thinking at the back of my head that it's kind of odd that his insides are like human. He's like a robot, but it's my abstract feelings, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. Okay, he goes inside himself and then he freaks out, and then at the very end he gets brought back into reality. And that's literally like what happened to me. Like after that accident, I didn't know who I was. I had to really like probe like deep inside myself to find out who I was like as a person. So it's just like very literal, very literal. I think in the end that injury, as horrible as it was, it got me back into making art. This next one is just me dealing with like the passage of time. It's inspired by this song by Yacht Club. It's called No Way. So when the flood comes down, you'll get swept away. When the flood comes down, you'll get swept up far away. And it's just about how I feel like I'm being swept away by time. So I'm getting older. I'm 27. 27 is not like so old, but I feel like life has like closed up on me in little ways. I feel like I look back on my life and I look back on all the things I've done and they're all like separate people from me. Like these are parts of myself I'll never be able to get back. It's not necessarily like a bad thing. I mean, you live through those experiences and they make you like who you are right now. But yeah, I was just dealing with that sadness while I was making this. Yeah, these are all my comics so far. And I'm making another one. This is my official 2025 comic. I was gonna make it before I left because I'm leaving for France in like a month. And I thought to myself back in March that I had like enough time to make one more comic. Because I do make these in like the rest. Like I give myself like 1 month to finish a comic. I think I gave myself like 2 months to finish Sky 3 just because it was so long. But I wanted to give myself more time for 2025 comics. So I thought starting in March, ending in September was possible. It's not, so I'm gonna be using the rest of the year to make my comic. And this is what it looks like so far. My real 2025 comic. These are all the thumbnails that I've drafted. So everything is essentially done. The story is done. Thumbnails are done. I've started sketching like what I'm gonna trace the paper on, the watercolor paper on these like mini sketchbooks. So I have them here. I think I'm done with like the first chapter. So what happens is after this, I line it on watercolor paper and make it more detailed and legible. Yeah, that's it so far. None of my comics have text in them. I think Sprout has like 2 lines of text, which is like, where are we going? And is that you? Or where have you come from? But my comics don't have text. I think they're more like vibes based rather than plot based. What I'm trying to get to in this one is also the passage of time, actually. Part of it is like how to console yourself or like how to get back to your past self and just kind of self-care. I don't know how to put it into words. It's inspired by that book, I Who Have Never Known Men. There is, in the way that it's like really desolate and lonely, because it's gonna be like my characters. I have these characters that I always draw, like the robot boy and the boy with the shaggy hair. They're living in this like desolate dystopian world, but it's like nature and beautiful and inspired by like all the stuff I've seen on my hike. It's like strongly inspired by Sujiton, which is a kalonk in Marseille. That is the main setting and like the home base of my comic. And I think that's another thing that's nice about art is that I can put my life in it and it's gonna be like real and permanent and tangible, and it's just surreal to be able to do that. I love making comics and I am excited to work on this one. I just need to like sit down, like properly sit down and finish it. But after that, I have something like this to show, and excited to grow the collection. It's surreal to me because I'll be making it like while I'm in France. So I hope I'll have the time amidst my class schedule to be able to finish something like this. But I know I will. I have like months instead of like the usual 1 month. Thank you for watching this video. My camera's like wobbling. I don't know why. But I'll make a script next time and I'll try to be more consistent with this YouTube video business. Because I do like talking to a camera. I think it's fun. And I like being able to look back on my thoughts. Thank you for watching this video and I hope to see you next time.